to the Idaho State Board of Corrections for to be imprisoned in an appropriate facility and execution of the sentence where he will remain until he dies.
A judge in Boise, Idaho, has handed down 4 consecutive life sentences to Bryan Kohberger for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. Kohberger had pleaded guilty earlier this month to the 4 charges of first-degree murder, as well as 1 count of burglary. Victim impact statements were read by family and friends of those who were killed. Emily Elantra read a statement on behalf of her friend Bethany, a roommate of all 4 of the victims at the time of their deaths. She discussed her horror of sleeping through the killings.
Of course would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what had happened and not calling right away. Even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything, not even if the paramedics had been right outside the door. I hope that they are remembered for who they are, not what happened to them, because who they are were so beautiful, and they deserve to be remembered in the highest way.
In the quiet town of Moscow, Idaho, where neighbors greet each other on their morning walks and nothing ever feels out of place, a brutal crime shattered everything. 4 young lives, full of promise, taken in the dead of night, while the world around them stayed blissfully unaware. This wasn't supposed to happen here. The families of the victims may never get the full answers they deserve, and this case still leaves many open wounds. If we don't keep these stories alive, if we don't demand justice and accountability, who will? By subscribing to the Tangible Stories, you're not just following a true crime story, you're helping ensure that these victims' voices are heard, their legacies are honored, and the truth doesn't get buried. Stay with us. Their stories deserve to be told. Tell us where you are watching from, we will love to know. At 21, Kaylee Goncalves was a senior majoring in general studies at the University of Idaho. She was a member of the Alpha Phi sorority and had recently completed her coursework, preparing to graduate a semester early. Kaylee had secured a job with an IT firm in Texas and was planning to move there shortly after graduation. She had a close-knit family and was known for her radiant smile and vibrant personality. Kaylee had been best friends with Madison Mogen since childhood, and their bond was often described as that of sisters. They shared countless memories, from childhood antics to late-night conversations, and had planned to travel together after graduation. Madison "Maddie" Mogen, also 21, was a senior majoring in marketing. She was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority and worked part-time at the Mad Greek restaurant in Moscow, where she utilized her marketing skills to manage social media campaigns. Maddie was known for her infectious laughter and compassionate nature. She had a special bond with her younger sister, who described her as the older sister I would have always wanted. Maddie's friends and family often spoke of her as someone who could light up any room and had a heart full of kindness. Xana Kernodle, 20, was a junior majoring in marketing. She was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority and worked at the Mad Greek restaurant alongside Maddie. Xana was known for her infectious energy and sense of humor. She had recently fallen in love with Ethan Chapin, a fellow student, and they were described as absolute soulmates. Xana's mother, Xana Kernodle, remembered her daughter as someone who could turn any bad situation into a good one, always uplifting those around her. Ethan Chapin, 20, was a sophomore majoring in recreation, sport, and tourism management. He was a triplet and had a strong bond with his siblings. Ethan was a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity and was known for his love of the outdoors and his work on a tulip farm. He had a deep connection with Xana Kernodle, and their relationship was described as one of mutual respect and affection. Ethan's parents remembered him as someone who loved his family dearly and had a zest for life that was contagious. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan shared a unique and unbreakable bond. They were more than just friends, they were a chosen family. Their lives intertwined through shared classes, late-night study sessions, and countless memories made in the small town of Moscow. They supported each other's dreams and aspirations, celebrated each other's successes, and comforted each other during times of hardship. Their friendship was a testament to the power of connection and the importance of having a support system. The community of Moscow, Idaho, was deeply affected by their loss. Vigils were held in their honor, and scholarships were established in their names. The university awarded posthumous degrees to the 4 victims, ensuring that their legacies would continue to inspire future generations. In the early hours of November 13, 2022, the tranquil college town of Moscow, Idaho, was shattered by an unimaginable tragedy. 4 University of Idaho students Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found brutally stabbed to death in their off-campus residence. The Moscow Police Department received a 911 call at 11:58 a.m. reporting an unconscious person at the King Road house. Upon arrival, officers discovered the bodies of the victims on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. There were no signs of forced entry, and nothing appeared to have been stolen, suggesting the killer was someone familiar with the victims. The initial response from law enforcement was swift. The Moscow Police Department, with assistance from the Idaho State Police and the FBI, began processing the crime scene and gathering evidence. Investigators found a tan leather knife sheath on Mogen's bed, which contained a single source of male DNA. However, this DNA did not match any profiles in the national database, leaving authorities with few leads. In the days following the murders, the police faced mounting pressure as the community grappled with the horror of the crime. The Moscow police chief initially stated there was no threat to the community, but 3 days later he revised his statement, acknowledging that the killer was still at large and that the community was at risk. This shift in messaging contributed to growing unease among residents. Many students and faculty members left town for the Thanksgiving holiday early, and some professors canceled classes due to safety concerns. The university also postponed a candlelight vigil for the victims, which was eventually held 2 weeks later. As the investigation progressed, law enforcement received thousands of tips from the public, including over 15,000 digital submissions. Despite this influx of information, no concrete leads emerged. The lack of a clear motive and the absence of the murder weapon further complicated the case. Authorities considered the possibility of multiple perpetrators but had no evidence to support this theory. In the days following the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students on November 13, 2022, investigators faced mounting pressure to identify a suspect. The Moscow Police Department, in collaboration with the FBI and Idaho State Police, meticulously combed through evidence, surveillance footage, and digital footprints. A breakthrough came when a tan leather knife sheath was discovered at the crime scene, containing a single source of male DNA. However, this DNA did not match any profiles in the national database, leaving authorities with limited leads. Undeterred, investigators expanded their search. They obtained surveillance footage showing a white Hyundai Elantra near the victim's residence around the time of the murders. This vehicle was traced back to Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old PhD student in criminology at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, located less than 8 miles west of Moscow. Kohberger had driven the car to his parents' home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania for the holidays. On December 30, 2022, Kohberger was arrested at his parents' residence in Pennsylvania. At the time of his arrest, he was found in the kitchen, dressed in a shirt and shorts, wearing examination gloves and placing trash into separate Ziploc baggies. Authorities also noted that Kohberger had cleaned his car inside and out, not missing an inch of area. A search of his home revealed a knife, a pistol, a black face mask, and ID cards inside a glove in a box. Kohberger's background as a criminology student raised eyebrows. He had been a teaching assistant at Washington State University, but less than 2 weeks before the murders, faculty members met with him to discuss growing concerns and complaints about his behavior and conduct toward women. Kohberger was terminated from his teaching assistant role on December 19, 2022, due to these issues. In the hours leading up to his arrest, Kohberger exhibited signs of increasing paranoia. He viewed an article about the search for a white Hyundai Elantra matching his car, then searched for auto detailing services and began browsing for used cars like the Ford Fusion and Honda Civic. His online history also showed alarming searches, including terms like psychopaths paranoid, wiretapping, and serial killers, alongside downloads of crime-related content, including details on serial killer Wayne Nance. Following his arrest, Kohberger was extradited to Idaho, where he faced 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. In July 2025, Kohberger entered a guilty plea to all charges against him as part of a deal to avoid the death penalty. He was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 10 years and fines and restitution totaling $270,000. On June 30, 2025, just weeks before his highly anticipated trial was set to begin, Bryan Kohberger agreed to a plea deal that would spare him the death penalty. In exchange, he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary, acknowledging his role in the brutal killings of University of Idaho students Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin on November 13, 2022. The agreement stipulated that Kohberger would serve 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 10 years for the burglary charge. He also waived his right to any future appeals, ensuring that he would remain incarcerated for the remainder of his life. The decision to accept the plea deal was influenced by several factors. Prosecutors sought to avoid the uncertainties and emotional toll of a prolonged trial, which could have subjected the victims' families to further trauma. Additionally, the plea deal guaranteed a sentence without the possibility of parole, providing a sense of finality to the case. However, the agreement also meant that Kohberger would not be required to provide a full confession or disclose his motive, leaving many questions unanswered. The announcement of the plea deal elicited a range of emotional responses from the victims' families. Kaylee Goncalves' father, Steve Goncalves, expressed his anger and disappointment, stating that he felt blindsided by the decision and that the justice system had failed his daughter. He emphasized the need for a full trial to uncover the truth and hold Kohberger fully accountable. In contrast, the families of Madison Mogen and Ethan Chapin welcomed the plea deal, viewing it as a means to avoid the prolonged pain of a public trial. Ben Mogen, Madison's father, expressed relief, stating that the plea deal allowed the family to begin healing without the added stress of a lengthy legal process. The differing reactions highlighted the complex nature of justice and the varying needs of those affected by the tragedy. While some sought closure through the certainty of a life sentence, others felt that true justice could only be achieved through a full and transparent trial. The change of plea hearing took place on July 2, 2025, in Boise, Idaho, with Judge Stephen Hippler presiding. Kohberger appeared in court wearing a button-down shirt and tie, displaying little emotion as he entered his guilty pleas. The courtroom was filled with the victims' families and members of the public, all awaiting the resolution of the high-profile case. During the proceedings, Judge Hippler addressed Kohberger directly, confirming his understanding of the plea agreement and the consequences of his decisions. Kohberger acknowledged his understanding and confirmed that he was entering the plea voluntarily. The judge then scheduled the sentencing hearing for July 23, 2025. The sentencing hearing was marked by powerful victim impact statements from the families. Many expressed their grief and anger, while others spoke of forgiveness and the desire for healing. Judge Hippler described the murders as senselessly slaughtered, and credited law enforcement and Kohberger's incompetence for the successful prosecution. The case of Bryan Kohberger highlighted several systemic issues within education, law enforcement, and mental health systems. At Washington State University, Kohberger faced multiple complaints regarding his behavior, including offensive and discriminatory remarks. Despite these concerns, he was allowed to continue his position as a teaching assistant, raising questions about the effectiveness of institutional oversight and the handling of such complaints. Additionally, Kohberger's background revealed troubling patterns. He had been removed from a high school law enforcement program due to complaints from female students, suggesting early signs of inappropriate behavior. His online activities also indicated a disturbing preoccupation with violence and non-consensual acts, further underscoring the need for more effective monitoring and intervention. These revelations point to the necessity for comprehensive reforms in how institutions address behavioral issues, particularly those related to gender and power dynamics. Improved training, clearer reporting mechanisms, and more decisive actions are essential to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The arrest and subsequent conviction of Bryan Kohberger brought a complex mix of emotions to the Moscow community. While some residents felt a sense of relief that the perpetrator was held accountable, others grappled with lingering questions about the motive and the impact on their once peaceful town. The murders had shattered the community's sense of safety, leading to increased vigilance and discussions about campus security and personal safety measures. In the wake of the tragedy, the families of the victims and the University of Idaho community undertook significant efforts to honor the memories of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. The University of Idaho established the Vandal Healing Garden, a memorial space designed and built by students from the College of Art and Architecture. This garden serves as a place of reflection and remembrance for the victims and the community. Additionally, scholarships were created in the names of the victims to support future students. For instance, the Sigma Chi fraternity established the Ethan Chapin Memorial Scholarship Fund, which provides financial assistance to undergraduate members. The Chapin family also founded Ethan's Smile, a memorial scholarship foundation aimed at supporting students from Skagit Valley, Washington, attending the University of Idaho. The murders prompted a re-evaluation of safety protocols within the University of Idaho and the broader Moscow community. The university increased the number of campus patrols and enhanced security measures to reassure students and faculty. Community members also became more proactive in looking out for one another, with heightened awareness of personal safety and the importance of reporting suspicious activities. This case underscores the importance of vigilance and proactive measures in ensuring the safety of students and communities. It highlights the need for educational institutions to have clear policies and procedures for addressing behavioral concerns and for communities to foster environments where individuals feel supported and heard. Early intervention and open communication channels are crucial in preventing such tragedies. The University of Idaho murders have sparked broader conversations about mental health, the importance of community support systems, and the need for comprehensive safety policies. It serves as a reminder that even in seemingly safe environments, vigilance and preparedness are essential. The case also emphasizes the importance of holding individuals accountable for their actions and ensuring that justice is served, while also addressing the underlying issues that may contribute to such incidents. The aftermath of the University of Idaho murders has been marked by a community's resilience and commitment to honoring the lives lost. Through memorials, scholarships, and a renewed focus on safety, Moscow has demonstrated the strength of its bonds and the importance of coming together in the face of tragedy. The arrest and subsequent conviction of Bryan Kohberger brought a complex mix of emotions to the Moscow community. While some residents felt a sense of relief that the perpetrator was held accountable, others grappled with lingering questions about the motive and the impact on their once peaceful town. The murders had shattered the community's sense of safety, leading to increased vigilance and discussions about campus security and personal safety measures. The University of Idaho, in collaboration with local authorities, implemented enhanced security protocols and organized community forums to address concerns and foster open communication. These efforts aim to rebuild trust and ensure that such a tragedy would not repeat itself. In the wake of the tragedy, the families of the victims and the University of Idaho community undertook significant efforts to honor the memories of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. The University of Idaho established the Vandal Healing Garden, a memorial space designed and built by students from the College of Art and Architecture. This garden serves as a place of reflection and remembrance for the victims and the community. Additionally, scholarships were created in the names of the victims to support future students. For instance, the Sigma Chi fraternity established the Ethan Chapin Memorial Scholarship Fund, which provides financial assistance to undergraduate members. The Chapin family also founded Ethan's Smile, a memorial scholarship foundation aimed at supporting students from Skagit Valley, Washington, attending the University of Idaho. The murders prompted a re-evaluation of safety protocols within the University of Idaho and the broader Moscow community. The university increased the number of campus patrols and enhanced security measures to reassure students and faculty. Community members also became more proactive in looking out for one another, with heightened awareness of personal safety and the importance of reporting suspicious activities. This case underscores the importance of vigilance and proactive measures in ensuring the safety of students and communities. It highlights the need for educational institutions to have clear policies and procedures for addressing behavioral concerns and for communities to foster environments where individuals feel supported and heard. Early intervention and open communication channels are crucial in preventing such tragedies. The University of Idaho murders have sparked broader conversations about mental health, the importance of community support systems, and the need for comprehensive safety policies. It serves as a reminder that even in seemingly safe environments, vigilance and preparedness are essential. The case also emphasizes the importance of holding individuals accountable for their actions and ensuring that justice is served, while also addressing the underlying issues that may contribute to such incidents. The aftermath of the University of Idaho murders has been marked by a community's resilience and commitment to honoring the lives lost. Through memorials, scholarships, and a renewed focus on safety, Moscow has demonstrated the strength of its bonds and the importance of coming together in the face of tragedy. As we conclude this in-depth exploration of the University of Idaho murders, we invite you to reflect on the complexities of crime, justice, and community healing. What lessons can we learn from this tragedy to prevent similar incidents in the future? We encourage you to share your thoughts and engage in a respectful discussion in the comments section below. Your insights are valuable in fostering a community committed to safety and understanding. If you found this analysis informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you stay informed about ongoing investigations, societal issues, and the pursuit of justice. Your support helps us continue to provide in-depth content that matters. Thank you for joining us in this important conversation. Together, we can contribute to a safer and more informed community.